When you think of a hidden gem in Farm Sim, you often are drawn to things like cultivators, plows, harvesters, and so forth. Tools that really make an impact on the farm. However, trailers are often overlooked, and this is a massive disservice to yourself. If you get a trailer that's too small, or if you spend too much on a trailer that doesn't do as much as you would like, you're going to be left short-handed and having to buy more pieces of equipment to do the same job. However, the Aperion 3401 really does have you covered as this week's hidden gem. It is, in my opinion, the best trailer of the game, including the price that you pay for it. At £90,500, it is a bit of a steep ask, but what you get out of that is just tons of value. It has 3 axles, 2 of which are steerable, you have 2 unloading mechanics, you have numerous different wheel setups that you can use depending on the brand that you choose. It has a whopping capacity of 52,000 litres. It weighs 10.2 tons, so you are going to have to take that consideration. When it's full, it's going to weigh a hell of a lot more, so you're going to need a fairly beefy tractor to be able to pull it up hills, and it uses twin radial tyres. You would think there's not a lot to say about the trailers, they just carry goods, but the sheer volume of goods that you can carry, as well as the sheer type of goods that you can carry, really make this trailer one to look out for. Furthermore, you have a very quick unloading mechanic, where the floor will, or the edge will push the grain out of the end of it, and again, you do have 2 different unloading mechanics that you can choose from. All in all, this piece of equipment is going to save you a lot of time in the long run, because you're going to be making less trips to the sell point or to your production point when you're doing a harvest, or if you want to transport some grain or some wheat to one of your animal shelters, or if you are, doing winter season play and you want to grit the road with salt, you can carry this a lot quickly. It's really, really good. Like, it is one of the first things that I will buy when starting a new farm, just because I know that there's going to be a lot of harvesting contracts and harvesting that you do on a field that you're going to buy, and the amount of time you save makes this worth it. It makes the price worth it. But what about its closest competitors? How did they stack up to this rather awesome trailer? If we go to the next cheapest trailer, we have the Lode King Distinction Triple Hopper. This thing is a very good trailer. However, its biggest drawback compared to the Aperion is the amount of things that it can carry. It is very limited to crops only, whereas the Aperion can carry everything from silage to manure to slurry to pretty much everything. Whereas this is crops only. Now, it is £15,000 cheaper at £75,000 exactly. You can colour it whichever colour you want between white and black, or you can have different top apron, and you can have the rims a different shade as well. Now, that will add to the cost, but you do have a bit of customization there, whereas the Aperion is not customizable at all. Load capacity is a little bit shorter at 1.2 thousand or 1,200 litres less. It weighs, again, about 1.5 tons less, and it uses the Conti Crosstrack HS3. Also, I do not believe that these axles are steerable, whereas they are on the Aperion. So overall, you're paying less, but you're getting less. You can pay a little bit more to customize it, but the amount of load that you're going to get, the amount of things that you can carry are much less, and that makes it a problem. When getting a piece of equipment, you want to be able to do as much with that piece of equipment as possible for the best price, and you really can't do that in this because of the very limited things that you can carry. If we go to the next price up, you have the Krone GX520. And honestly, you are paying for the name. It has the exact same capacity. It can carry the same amount of things. It has different wheels, but again, the 2 are steerable. and you're paying £119,000 for it. You're paying nearly £30,000 more for a name. Now, looks-wise, the trailer does look really, really nice, and if you want to add an extra £5,000 to your total on top, you can get a really nice chrome cover as well. But honestly, you're not going to spend £30,000 extra on a trailer that doesn't do anything different to the Aperion. It's mind-boggling. It's a very nice trailer, and if you are all about aesthetics, then sure, go nuts, but this is about the best bang for buck, and honestly, this doesn't have it. I looked over this, and this is a theme with many of the Krone pieces of tech, except for maybe the Big M, where you're paying for the name and not much else. They are all more expensive than everything else in the game, and they do exactly the same as their direct counterpart, which is a bit of a shame. There is one more trailer that we can look at, which is a little bit cheaper, but again, it has the same problem as the Lode King. We'll look at that now. So this is the Annaburger Fieldliner HTS 31.06. It has a larger capacity than the Aperion at 55,000 litres compared to the Aperion's 52,000. It weighs a little bit more than the Aperion at 11 tons, and it uses the Cargo X BIB wheels. However, it does have one massive drawback, and that is that it is severely limited in what it can carry. The Aperion just has such a large variety of crop and other items that you can take that it is what makes it so appealing for transporting things, and why I would choose that over any other trailer that I'm going to buy for the money. This is also more expensive, and you are paying for that extra capacity. Honestly, that is what dictates the price in many of these things. So it's £15,000 more expensive, £20,000 if you decide to add a cover, which again is purely cosmetic. It's not a bad trailer by any stretch of the imagination. 55,000 litres capacity of anything is always pretty good. But again, like, the Aperion just takes it for me. It looks better, in my opinion, and for the lesser, the lesser of the capacities, you're getting so much more benefit. You're getting more bang for buck as a result. Let's see what it's like on the field. Okay, so this is what it looks like in game. As you can see, it is a very, very big trailer. It takes up a lot of screen real estate, but that's not really going to be a huge issue when you're driving. If you're driving around like me, you tend to drive in first person. We are using a small tractor right now to pull the trailer, but it is empty, and I don't think I've got any harvesting jobs on now to show you, unfortunately. But you can get a good idea of the sort of size you're going to need, the space you're going to need to take up. But you can also see that it is a rather pretty trailer, and it looks good. It looks good when you're driving along. Now, speaking of driving, as I mentioned when I was first showcasing this in the sale page, it does have steerable axles. Now, as you can see when you're turning, this does give you a lot more maneuverability, and it's kind of cool to see it in action as well. It allows you to make turns that you wouldn't or normally make, which on a map like Q at Belleron is going to be a lifesaver, honestly. Now, don't take note of my driving. My driving is awful. As you can see, the biggest drawback to this is you don't have a cover option, honestly. But again, that's purely cosmetic. This will allow you to save a lot of time when making harvesting, because you will be able to fit more in the trailer, so you're making less trips, which is ultimately going to save you more time. And time is money in this game, depending on the time setting you've got. Obviously, we are on a 2-day month cycle on this map, and that really allows you to get a lot done whilst not making the map feel slow. Now, once you get further in the game and you've got more farms and more things to harvest, you're probably going to want to change that to a 3 or a 4-day cycle, so you've got enough time to actually get everything done, depending on what settings you've got. If you've got crop withering on, or if you've got crop destruction on, etc., you're going to want to get as much done as possible. Now, as said before, the way that the floor empties out, you have 2 different unloading options in the game. If you press your U key, it will change between side door and normal unload. And as you can see with Hewitt Belleron, there are a lot of these unload points where you are in quite a tight space. So having a pushing feature, a pushing momentum, which means that the trailer doesn't actually tip, it's actually really useful, because the physics in this game, if anybody has played this for more than 5 seconds, will make you question going under a zone like this and then having to unload a trailer that tips in more of a conventional fashion. So having one that has like a pushing floor feature that just pushes it out the edge, one, makes it much quicker, and two, you're going to face less problems in game. One of the biggest issues I have is with bale trailers, the way they tip in certain areas, I get stuck a lot. It makes it very, very awkward. So having that freedom to pretty much unload anywhere you like, even if you have a massively full trailer, is a really nice feature. So there you are. That is the Strautoman Aperion 3401. In my opinion, the best trailer in the game. It allows you to do so much so quickly, and it looks really good whilst doing it too. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.